Hi guys, it's time for chapters 21 and 22. In playing Atari with Saddam Hussein, we just found out I was on the edge of my seat. Professor Abbas, they just realized that him and Mama used to be friends. And if he said 2 pi r to her, that means the outside of a circle, which is where their friends used to all sit at a round circle table. And if anything was wrong, one of them was going to have to take care of their family because they did take Professor Abbas away. So very sad. We don't know where Baba is. Let's try to find out. 21 and 22. That night, while my family sleeps around me in the safe room, my mind races in all different directions. Hate Saddam. Wish the Americans would kill him and get this all over with. Baba has disappeared into smoke-choked air. Those girls helped me a couple of days ago. There are good people out there. Bang, bang. 8 men dead. A different life. Iraq wasn't always like this. I have had a glimpse of a different life. It was just a few weeks ago, though it feels longer. It was New Year's Eve. To celebrate the start of 1991, the governor of Iraq held a ball. A glamorous, extravagant party at the governor's mansion. My family was there. Baba is the governor's dentist. The governor, one of Saddam's top men, likes my father because he is smart and professional, and because he takes great care of the governor's teeth. We were all invited to the ball. I close my eyes and remember. Come on, I urged Ahmed, who was still sitting in the back seat of the limousine. Everyone else had gone through the gates already. I grabbed Ahmed's hand and pulled him out. I don't want to go, my little brother moaned. I hate this tie. We all hate wearing ties, I said, but that's the price you pay for being a cool dude, I told him, making him smile. Ahmed and I caught up with Shirzad and our parents. My father was carrying Shireen so she wouldn't dirty her ruffled white dress or white buckled shoes. My father was wearing a tuxedo, and Mama had on a sunset-colored ball gown. We walked up the stone path that led to the front door. 2 men in tuxedos, with assault rifles slung over their shoulders, greeted Mama and Baba and checked their names against the guest list. Welcome to the governor's New Year's ball, the man with the list said to each of us, even Shireen. Happy New Year, my father replied, and we all passed through the arched doorway. The room we entered was huge, with white marble floors and gold-patterned walls and a chandelier the size of a car hanging from the soaring high ceiling. While I was looking up at it, I stumbled into Shireen. Ow, she said. Shh, hissed Mama. Don't worry. A woman appeared and beckoned us to follow her. The ballroom is down this hallway to the right. But first, this is Miss Sade. She'll take the children upstairs for their own party games. Up those stairs? Shireen pointed to the white, shining marble staircase with a gold railing. Yes, Miss Sade exclaimed. Come with me. The name Sade means happy in Arabic, and boy was this woman happy. Baba put Shireen down, and she skipped over to the smiling woman. Go on, I nudged Ahmed, who rolled his eyes. But he joined Shireen. Did you see that Lamborghini behind us? I said to Shirzad. Yes, I wonder who... My brother was interrupted. Boys, you come too, trilled Miss Happy. Go ahead, Ali, Shirzad, said Mama. We're not little kids, Shirzad protested. Are you under 14? Miss Happy chirped. Shirzad and I nodded. Then come with me. I took one last longing look at my parents. Then I walked with my brothers and sister up the fancy staircase. We were taken to a room that could hold an entire soccer field. It was filled with kids, shrieking, running around, playing tag, making crafts, playing with toys. Ahmed and Shireen eagerly ran in and got lost amid the chaos. Miss Happy went in too. Shirzad and I hung back in the hallway. Walk? He said. Definitely, I responded. We explored the second floor. There were bedrooms, each one decorated differently, and almost as many bathrooms. Then we opened a door. And it's an 8 of spades! You're out, Hassan! The boy dealing the deck of cards looked at us. Shirzad, Ali, how did they let you 2 in? It was Omar. Yeah, go get us some food, Umar said, chuckling. He stood against a wall with 2 other boys, all smoking hand-rolled cigarettes. We're guests, I said, just like you. Well, if you've got money, come join the game, said Omar. No, thank you, said Shirzad. See you around. My brother turned back into the hallway. I did too. We walked a little ways before I said, "No, thank you. Now you have to be all Mr. Manners with the twins?" "Ali, their father is high up in the Ba'athist party," Shirzad said. "Pretty much everyone here is, except for us and the servants. We need to be polite to everybody." "I know, you're right." I saw a double door at the end of the corridor. We walked over to it and I pulled it open with two hands. Sweet! It was a teenage boy's room, and a boy was in it. He had his hair cut military style and was wearing a suit and tie. "Hi, you can call me Z," the boy said. "Want to play?" Z? What kind of name is that? He was playing on the latest game console. "Yes," Shirzad and I both said. We introduced ourselves. Shirzad flopped down on the second gamer chair. As Z switched over to two-player, I said, "Is this your room?" "Yes," he said. "My father travels a lot and brings me books." Then I saw it, a whole shelf of comics. Marvel, DC, Looney Tunes, and more. All organized, all in order. "Great collection," I told Z. "Can I look at them?" "Sure," he said. I walked over and rifled through them. "You're missing numbers 17 and number 18 in Superman." "Ali's obsessed with Superman," Shirzad said, playing video football. "I was in New York City when those two comics came out," Z said. "I've been looking for them ever since." "I've got them," I said, absently skimming the DC comics. "You do?" Z paused the game. "Yes, I have the full set." "I'll pay you good money for those," said Z, looking straight at me. "No way," I responded. "Those are my prized possessions." "I respect that," Z said, "but the offer still stands." He and Shirzad resumed their gameplay. I watched as Z's team wiped out my brothers. It was my turn to play, but before I got to, one of the twins showed up in the doorway. "Z, your father wants you downstairs." Omar's voice trailed off when he saw us. "I'll be right down," Z said. "He said right now," Omar said. "Z, you know these guys?" "Just met them. Their father cleans my teeth." "Go on, O. I'll be right there." Or "I'll be right here." Omar left. Z stood up slowly as if he was in no hurry to comply with his father's request. "Your father's a good dentist," he said loudly as he walked to the door. He stuck his head out into the hallway and looked left, then right. Then he came back into the room and said quietly, "Your father has pictures in his office. That's how I knew who you are. Your father is a good man. Tell me, are you friends with Omar and Umar?" "No," I said. "They're our neighbors," Shirzad said, shooting me a warning look. "I'd be careful around them," Z said. "They like to make trouble." Z patted his hair down and turned back to the door. "Play games as long as you like," he said, and he left us in his room. I looked at Shirzad and shrugged. "Well, all right." I sat down in the gamer chair that Z had occupied and started playing games. "Z seems like a good guy," I said, maneuvering my players into position. "His father is the governor," Shirzad said. "I know," I replied as the game started. "We need to keep our guard up," my brother said. "I know that too," I said. "I was just saying he's nice. I'm not going to say anything stupid." My players were battling hard on screen, and Shirzad's were fighting hard too. "Goal!" my brother shouted. 0-1. Not for long. We played all 3 periods and finished 4-4. "Good game," Shirzad said. We stood and began to look around the room. I don't know if you can hear my dogs barking. Sorry if you can't. I hadn't noticed that Z had his own mini fridge and microwave in one corner. I had always thought we were born with a silver spoon in our mouth, but this kid was born with a golden spoon. "Boo!" some little kids screamed as they ran by in the hallway. I was hungry, so I left the room and followed them down the hall and back downstairs to the main room. Tables were set up with food and drinks. I grabbed a plate and filled it with delicious breads and cheeses and desserts. I looked around to see where I could sit. A group of boys were off in a corner, eating and laughing. I saw Omar and Umar and Z with other kids I didn't know. What I did know was that I wouldn't be hanging out with them. They were Saddam's people. I was not. I found Ahmed and Shireen and ate with them. 10, 9, 8. It was the countdown to the new year. 7, 6, 5. The voices of the adults downstairs were so loud we could hear them too. Shirzad joined us. 4, 3, I shouted along with my brothers and sister. 2, 1, Happy New Year! It was 1991. I made a wish. Please let this be a really good year. And then I joined the little kids who were playing tag. and I ran and laughed and enjoyed. Wow. Chapter 22. Wednesday, January 30th, 1991, day 15. And this is going to summarize all the way to Friday, February 22nd, 1991. So day 38. So this is going to be from day 15 to day 38. What's happening? Every day feels the same lately. Wake up to a gray haze that coats the morning sun. Try to fill my long morning stuck around the house. Eat a colorless lunch too small to fill my rumbling stomach. Help clean the dust and ash off the floor and furniture. Fall asleep from boredom. Eat a bland dinner of grains and weak coffee. Bunker down in the safe room as darkness falls over our city. Hear bombs. Be afraid. Survive. Repeat for 2.5 weeks. One night I can't sleep. I imagine myself in a video game, Yar's Revenge. The objective is to destroy the evil quotile, which exists on the other side of a barrier. My player, the Yar, must eat or shoot through the barrier in order to fire a cannon into the breach. But the quotile shoots at me with missiles so intense and fast that I must dodge and hide and retreat. And when the quotile turns into the swirl, he is so dangerous and powerful that my Yar is no match for him. Suddenly, the swirl has Saddam's face, and I am moving and shooting and scoring points, but there seems to be no endgame. The Saddam swirl is indestructible. I wake up covered in sweat. I am in Basra, not in a video game. It was just a nightmare. I turn over to go back to sleep. Then I wake up in the morning to hear a fighter jet overhead. My heart starts to race. What if he just dropped a bomb? What if more are coming? What if we are here one instant and gone the next? Nothing happens. I'm still alive, I think. Enough feeling sorry for myself for being lazy. I get up, step around my sleeping brother, and go to my own bedroom. And that's been it. From those 2.5 weeks, it's been pretty bland for them. They can't really do a whole lot. I feel like we can kind of, in a weird way, relate to that. Not really the war thing, but I mean, we're kind of stuck here. Looking forward to 2 more chapters next week. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope you're keeping up with me. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.